Hi, everyone. It's Lori from Crystal Earth Magic. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about what we all are really craving, what we all really want. So, the answer to that is connection. And I don't mean just being with people or things or places that don't resonate with us. I mean that true, authentic soul and heart connection that seems to be very, very elusive in this world. And so this morning, in my meditation, my team had me kind of look back at all the places in my life where perhaps I'm not so proud of what I did. Things maybe that weren't in my highest good, things where I was acting not from an authentic space or not from my heart. Places where we have all done things we're not proud of. We have chosen relationships that didn't serve us because we felt lonely or we felt the need for connection that really wasn't that heart or soul connection. It was just a physical connection. Places where perhaps we felt that we needed to be the center of attention and we acted out either with drama or whatever. we could fill in a million different blanks for that for all of us. Places where we didn't honor ourselves and places where we didn't honor others. There are so many things that we can plug into this equation. So they had me look back at these things. And these, of course, are things that are not new to me to look at. But the difference this time is when you're looking from that higher perspective, you no longer have an emotional charge over what you did. You're no longer, oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, how could I have done that? Oh, I'm a bad person. Oh, I'm so stupid. You don't do that. You see it from the higher perspective. And what we come to is, how did it serve us? And these things always serve us once we're coming to the realization and doing the work to figure out, make sense, however, feel what and why we acted the way we did in a certain time. And all of these things, no matter what they were, coming from that higher neutral perspective where you're not judging yourself, where you're having compassion for yourself, they all came down to craving, wanting that soul connection, that heart connection, that true, authentic connection. Again, that seems to be so elusive in this world. Most of us, probably if you're watching this video, you can relate on some way to what I'm saying. Most of us felt like we were never understood, like people never really heard us, that we just didn't fit in. Even if it appeared externally that we did, it was all kind of a sham. And we always felt like we needed something. We had these holes in ourselves that we just could not fill with anything. And some people, again, turn to drama. Some people turn to negative relationships. Some people turn to situations that don't serve their highest good. Other people might turn to drugs or alcohol or something to fill those holes. But guess what? We never fill those holes. And there was never anything wrong with us. We were craving that deep one-on-one personal connection. And I think that really is what most of us are craving. Some people might have approached that through isolation because they didn't fit in and they didn't want the ridicule or the pain of going through relationships that just didn't work for them. We have all learned a lot over the last few years, hopefully. If you're watching this video, I'm sure that you're one that you've learned a lot, not just about the world, but especially about yourself. And I think it's really important that we do this self-work, that we do this soul searching. Again, some people are not in the place to do that if they still feel guilty or shame or pain or negative emotions or judgment of self. If you're feeling that, then maybe this isn't quite the time to do it. But when you can get up to the higher perspective and look down at it and say, I have compassion for who I was then. I have compassion for the situation, and I see how it served me. Because everything that happens in this life does serve us on some level, especially if we're coming to the point of self-searching. And I think that's what a lot of this time has been about for many of us. You know, we can call ourselves whatever we want. We can call ourselves service to others individuals, light workers, starseeds, whatever. It doesn't matter what the label is. The point is that we are looking to better ourselves, and in so doing, better the world. We become the living example. The more peace and joy and harmony that we have in our life, we become the living example for other people. And again, I think that that connection is so important, even if it's with one person, even if it's with two people. Most of us, our families didn't understand us. Our spouses or significant others didn't understand us. Our colleagues, our boss, our business partners, the person at the grocery store, whatever. No one ever really understood us. And is it their fault? No, we didn't understand ourselves. We didn't know what we were looking for. We were looking for that heart connection, that soul connection, that deep, authentic connection. And when you're not on the same resonance, wavelength, frequency as someone else, they can't hear you. They can't understand you. Perhaps you were labeled as the black sheep of the family, or the weird one, or, oh, she's just bizarre, you know, whatever. People just didn't have the capacity to understand us. And it didn't mean that there was anything wrong with us. It meant that we were just different than the norm. And that, in my opinion, is a very good thing, because we were searching for that connection, that source connection that we miss being down here in physical incarnation. We miss that connection. And I think it's so important that we start to develop those authentic relationships with others. A lot of people are still, I mean, we're all guilty of this from time to time, of wanting to judge others. And what does that mean? We're really judging ourselves, right? Whether you're on social media, whether you're in a one-on-one discussion, whether you're at the family Thanksgiving table, whatever, we want to be heard. And we have to remember that the same people that couldn't hear us before probably can't hear us now, although that is changing and shifting. And we have to understand what we want, who we are, and that we don't have to push our opinion on people that can't hear us or can't understand. But it is very nice. It's very nice. Once we learn to love and accept ourselves the way that we are, and that is hard work. That is not something done in one day. That is something that is a progressive thing throughout our life. So, you know, don't think you've failed if you haven't been able to do that in one meditation session or one workshop. This is something that we have to work at all the time. And the other part of that is it keeps evolving. As we keep evolving, the work keeps evolving. And we see other places where we were hurt or not heard, or didn't have that authentic connection that we wanted. And we acted out in ways that weren't in our highest good, and probably not in the highest good of those around us. But the important thing is it serves us now as we're looking to shift this. And so what I'm saying, that authentic connection, it may be hard to find in your family. It may be hard to find in your friend group. You know, a lot of us have been shifting our friend group, shifting who we interact with. A lot of us still feel isolated and alone. And this important connection, although there are many negative things about being online, on social media, on platforms such as this, there are still positives, because people can connect from wherever they are, whoever they are, and we can begin to have some of those authentic conversations and those authentic relationships, the heart-to-heart stuff. When you see how many people around the world, from different places, different walks of life, different religions, different cultures, it doesn't matter. When you see how many people really have that want and that desire as primary, when we come to that realization that that's what we've been craving all along, that's the only thing that's going to fill our holes. Certainly the connection with source, God, creator, whatever you want to call the all that is, certainly that is primary. And when we remember that we came from that all that is, there can be nothing wrong with us. We're down here playing a role, trying to expand love and light into dark places within the universe. We have a big role here on this earth, in this earth drama that's going on. So don't sell yourself short. You were different for a reason, but when we keep judging ourselves, when we keep going into I'm not worthy, all of that stuff, we're not serving ourselves. We're not learning the lesson that those painful things were in our life to show us. And until we learn that lesson, those things are going to keep coming around and coming around and coming around. We're going to keep judging ourselves when we take the time to do so. So again, that authentic connection, be who you are. You are magnificent. There's only one of you. You have a unique perspective that no one in the universe has but you. And if you sell yourself short, if you dumb yourself down, if you aren't authentic in everything that you do, I'm not saying to go out and stand on a soapbox and preach about spiritual things that other people have no idea. That's maybe something you did in the past. But doing that now, you keep your audience to those who can hear you. And when those can't hear you, just act your authentic self. Be who you are. Be the love that you are. Be the compassion that you are. Be not in judgment of yourself or others, and just be, and enjoy the moment in whatever way that you can, because we can always find joy in pretty much anything, even if it's looking at, oh, what lessons is this bad experience teaching me? Then it becomes positive, because we can always learn from every experience. Nothing happens by chance. Everything is set up because we set it up. Everything is set up so that we learn and we grow and we expand. And as we do that, we expand creation. So again, those authentic relationships, if you're not in resonance with someone, that's okay. It doesn't make them wrong and you right, or vice versa. It's just another perspective. We didn't come into this world hoping that everybody would be homogeneous and the same and have the same opinions and all of that. We came to experience all the differences and all the vast differences of everybody and everything, whether it be opinions, whether it be how we live our life, whether it be what we're excited by. Many of us are healers. Many of us have 9-to-5 jobs. That's okay, because we're all healers in some way. And how do we heal? We heal with our words and with our presence, and with incorporating the Christ consciousness, the spirituality into our waking moments, everywhere that we go, when we're kind to people, when we're compassionate, when we share our light. And it doesn't matter if we're walking alone in the park. We've all seen people like that. You can see their light from a mile away, even though you didn't have eye contact, you didn't have any contact. We can recognize each other. And those are the authentic relationships moving forward in this spiritual war that we're going through, this evolution, this ascension process that Earth and humanity is undergoing. When we can have those authentic connections, whether they be in person, whether they be online, we can always ask for them too. When we're ready, our higher self, our team, they're going to be delivered. And we're going to have the opportunity to interact authentically. So what do we choose? Do we choose to act in the old ways? Do we go into old patterns of trying to be heard when people can't hear you? Do we try to go into judgment? Do we try to go into the negativity and the drama? Or do we sit in our peace and be our authentic self? And then other people who are sitting in their peace, in their authentic self, can find us. And that's when we make those connections that can be lifelong, that can be so meaningful. Certainly some of them can be lifelong, and some of them maybe just for a moment, but we've all met people that maybe you just know them for a day, a moment, an hour, a second, and they've changed your life. And those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. Those people were in their authenticity. Those people were radiating the love that they are, the source that they come from. And wouldn't it be nice if we could all go around like that? Now, of course, we're human. We're living in this, third dimensional existence, which is rising in consciousness, but we're still in a physical density. And that's not going to change today, tomorrow, who knows when. It's a process. But we speed along that process for ourselves when we are authentic, whether people like us or not, when we don't get our feelings hurt when people don't agree with us, when we don't act out and start arguing and fighting online because someone disagrees with something we posted or our comments or whatever. When we can just be authentic and allow everybody else their opinion, Even if they don't allow us ours, that's okay, because we know inside that we're being who we truly are. We're being authentic. And that's when your soul tribe can find you. There are so many of us here that are searching for that soul tribe. Our soul tribe's all around us. We're just not being authentic, and so they can't find our light. So again, these heart connections, I would love to connect with all of you on that level, in a heart space, in a soul space, where we can really discuss these kinds of things, when we can find camaraderie, when we find we're not the only one who feels a certain way. That's really helpful for the human condition. You know, as we strive for masterhood, certainly when we get to masterhood, none of that matters. But most of us are on that path. We're striving for that. It may happen very quickly, and it may take many, many lifetimes. We don't know. We don't know what our soul has planned, and we certainly can't know what another person's soul has planned for them. So I just wanted to share that today, to be authentic, be who you are. You know, even if you're only reaching one person, 2 people, 5 people, it doesn't matter. Be who you are, because there's always somebody that wants and craves and desires what you're saying, maybe to help bolster them along during a difficult time, maybe to just feel like they're not alone in the world. And we crave that human connection. It's what we do. Since we all come from the same source, in a way, we're always missing that connection with all that is. We're down here pretending to be separate. And as we pretend to be separate, sometimes there is that loneliness, that isolation, that depression, even if you're in a crowd of people. when those people don't connect with you on the level that you're craving, you try to fill it with other things. And when we take a good look at ourselves from the higher perspective, and stop with the judgment and the condemnation and the shaming and the blaming and the I'm not worthies. When we look at how our life has progressed and it's brought us to this now moment, what have we learned? Because that's the important thing. Once we've learned how those experiences served us, then the game, it's game changer, because now we can be authentic. And guess what? Our authenticity is going to change from day to day to day, right? We may change our belief system, or we may change our vibration. We may change what we're excited about. All of these things change as we grow, and that's part of evolution. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we can emulate masters, but we're not here to bow down to anybody. We are those masters deep within, and we're just trying to remember our way home. So again, that authentic connection, so important. And I would love to connect with all of you on a level like that. And let's get this ball rolling. Let's get the light workers, the star seeds, the service to others individuals that we are, feeling good about ourselves, because we tend to have very low self-esteem because we've been beat down by the world for our whole lives, and many lifetimes, certainly. And it's time that we had a little ease and grace and joy in our lives. The wind's at our backs now. I mean, it may not look like it in the outer world, because that needs to catch up, of course, to what's going on in the higher dimensions. But if we are secure within ourselves, that we are that piece of source down here having a human experience for the learning and the expansion of the entire multiverse, then that is a game changer. Life will certainly pull us off our little pedestal from time to time, but that's okay. Just let yourself get back to center as soon as you can. Again, meditation, grounding, doing things that you love, doing things that excite you, being around people and situations and things that bring you joy, that bring you up, and not trying to fit yourself as a square peg into a round hole, which many of us have tried to do our whole existence. This is the lifetime that stops. Let's be authentic. Let's connect with each other on that heart and soul level, and stop trying to pretend we're someone we're not. Stop trying to push our views on others. Stop trying to judge ourselves and others. Stop, just stop and just be who you are, and your life will change very quickly. And anyway, so this is Lori from Crystal Earth Magic, and thank you for listening. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.